Oh,
Beautiful.
All right, cool. All right, we're here. Facecheck. Group stage over. I don't know. Big surprises, maybe, kind of. You know, it is the first time we've had 4 seeds make it in to the play-in stage. We had some teams rise up to the challenge and surprise. I would say, even though they're expected to make it out, Talon, to me, PSG Talon was a surprise on how dominant they were, but we'll get into their roster woes. LGD making it in by the skin of their teeth. To be honest, let's be real. There's a lot of money to be made if you lose a couple games and then make it 2. Like, I'm sure there was a lot of people that made a lot of money off of LGD, man. So LGD sneaking through. R7 looking like they almost could have put it together, but they didn't. Both Shadows not able to qualify. And Legacy on the cusp of finally making it to the group stage. Everyone was building that one up. And then LGD gave LGC the D. And it was a pretty
okay.
So
that was actually a pretty good one.
Thanks,
I respect that one.
Yeah, yeah. I've been working on
done.
it. I've been sitting on that one for a day. So
Yeah,
how do you guys,
yeah.
how did you guys feel about the group stage, the play-in stages?
It was pretty exciting. I mean, I feel like best of ones, you know, they can always be a little bit crazy. I just feel bad for Legacy, honestly, because, you know, it's the first time that they've ever performed so well in the group stage of play-ins. Like, normally they've been, like, you know, almost getting second in the group, and then they would end up getting third, like something like that. And then for the fact that they ended up getting second in their group, and it's like, oh, what's our reward? It's like, you have to play against fucking LGD. It's like, what the fuck? Like, so we beat Supermassive to get, like, a harder matchup? Like,
I'm not gonna lie, dude. That's what I thought was gonna happen to TL. I was like, this is what's gonna happen to TL. TL's gonna get screwed and it's all over. But TL was able to get that win and break the tie. Oof. LS, your thoughts?
I mean, I thought play-ins this year was the best that it's ever been in terms of excitement, but also competition. I think, like, the most impressive thing for me was that the play-in teams didn't just get rolled over. It actually looked like games were going pretty back and forth. I thought drafts played a really big part in the games overall. It makes me wish that next year Worlds is bigger, with like more teams, because it just feels bad that the narrative against wildcards exists the way that it does. But I think they've improved so much.
okay. I mean, what do you feel about the format of play-ins compared to like the format of the main stage? Because, for example, like, I don't really care that much about play-ins. I wish that the main stage had a similar format where like 3rd seed played like the 2 seed, and then that team went to like quarterfinals. Even with the first seed of each group getting a bye, I feel like that would be completely okay with me. I think it's funny that like you have so many chances. Like, it feels like you really get the best 4 teams that come out of this. But on the other side of the coin, you have group stage, which should be more important, where it feels like there's more volatility in a way.
Yeah, I didn't mind the play-in format at all. I thought the play-in format was really fair, because obviously it does showcase what's happening in the best of ones, but I think the inevitable best of 5 format is what makes things more exciting. Like, we saw LGD finally show up, and end up winning, you know, the way that I think a lot of people anticipated them to, unless you, of course, were from the post-game threads on Reddit, in which case, Dom, you are a fucking moron, and so am I. So,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah, imagine thinking that LGD was going to make it out of play. You know what I love so much about that, though? It's because those people literally would have predicted LGD to make it out, and then because of the first 4 games, they flipped, and they're like, nah, man, this team actually sucks. They're not going to get out anymore anyway. So they actually had 2 chances to predict it correctly, and they still ended up fucking it up. So, you know, who really took the L on that one is my question.
Yeah. And I guess my thing with this is I don't know if, because look at the teams that made it through, like LGD, the teams that were the higher seed, right? The Legacy, the Supermassive, and R7, right? We're all the higher seeds and Unicorns of Love were all higher seeds than the 4th seed. And so I think it becomes a little bit more controversial if it was like a Team Liquid or a Mad Lions, like one of the major regions that were the 2 seed. And then all of a sudden it feels like, hey, well, their prize was supposed to be waiting for the easier game, and they got stuff with it. I think that because it was Osh against LGD, people aren't making as much of a big deal about it as it was, because this format reminds me of Season 3 Worlds. Remember where, like, was it Cloud9 had the bye? They got to play one series and got knocked straight out. Like, that's what this kind of felt like, except fairer, because they were able to earn that spot, right? They earned the extra seed. So I like this better than what happened in Season 3 Worlds, but it does feel bad for major region teams, or just teams that ended up getting in a stacked group and then they're second and then they got to play LGD.
Yeah.
Like, it almost felt like LGD gamed the system a little bit. Not that they did on purpose.
I mean, obviously the best possible result would have been them just getting to skip 2 best of 5s and getting straight out into group stage. But I was kind of like weirded out by some of the results of the regions. Like, I'm really surprised that Brazil is not better than they are. Like, I just feel with the player base they have, they should be like outperforming at least, OCE, because OCE has no player base. They have no ability to scrim other teams. Whereas at least Brazilian teams can scrim LAN teams. They have a lot of players on their server, a lot of passion within their community. It's so disappointing that Brazil has not like showed up yet in League, because I mean, in other esports, you've seen them field dominant teams.
I'd love to hear claims on that backed up about the Osh player base, right? Is it a landlocked thing? Is it only, hey, look, we can only scrim each other because of, internet issues or ping issues? Alice, do like Korean teams scrim Osh team, or like challenger teams, amateur teams, college teams?
The ping
is like
300.
too insane.
The ping's 300. Yeah, you can't connect to OC. Yeah. I have no idea if there's ways for OC and Korea to meet on like Garena. Or like the Taiwan servers or Japan or something, and maybe it's better. I have no idea.
Yeah, they can both play with 200 ping instead of one team playing with 300.
Yeah,
fixes everything.
But even then, like, what would Korean teams get out of that? So that feels pretty tough.
Yeah, they wouldn't get anything out of it. So the issue is a lot of I think OCE has generally the most like randomly active boot campers. Like, there's a lot of oceanic boot campers that don't play in OPL. Like there's one guy that's been living in Korea. Well, he's not here anymore. But he was here up until Corona happened. He was an OC player that was living in Korea for like 9 months. And I don't think he ever played competitive.
What was his name?
He didn't have an actual ID, he just had a Korean title.
Oh, interesting.
But he was 18. Yeah, he was 18, and his mother was basically financing his entire Korean boot camp trip. And he was trying to test for Korean teams and like learn Korean and stuff. So like people like that exist that people don't know about. Yeah.
Mid-beast, god.
Yeah. not mid-beast. Yeah, so OCE, I don't know what's going to obviously happen. I imagine that as the region gets better and better players, they'll begin to constantly just keep getting exported. Because I don't know how the region itself can actually survive.
It's such a dead region, man. Like, playing on their ladder is actually sad. Like, I've experienced playing in OC. I played there for 3 months, and the ladder is like crazy dead. Like, no matter, like, if you're playing in Challenger, you literally get a 45-minute queue during peak times, and if it's like not during peak times, you're just not finding a game. Period. Like, it's just not happening. So it's really crazy playing over there. But the thing that's kind of like interesting is that because most of the people within OC like live within like Gold Coast, Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne, like, because that's like kind of where everyone is. Like, there's that's pretty much.
I know,
like,
you're legit accent.
You have to say it like that. Dude. Well, that's where I was. So
I'm from Melbourne. You're
from
from Melbourne.
You boot camped, right?
Well, I didn't like boot camp. Like, I was literally just dating an Australian girl, and I was just living with her in Australia for like 3 months. So that was it. Like, why are you looking at me like that?
No, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So yeah, like, that's just where I was.
Girls.
And so my point was, because everyone's kind of like located, like, that's pretty much all of Australia, right? Like, there's some random motherfuckers that live in Perth, but we don't talk about them, right? And then Tasmania, like, those guys have like 3 heads and shit. So we don't talk about those people either, right? So because of the location, everyone has like 15 to 20 ping. So like, they all get really good like mechanical practice. Like, this, like, the mechanics of the players like are actually not bad. It's just that, there's just not that many of them.
I just, you know what it was? It took me a second to realize why I reacted that way. It was like, we haven't had a girlfriend reference in a very long time.
No.
That does make sense because a lot of the players that do come over, you know, when we think of the 80 carries, was that Lost, FBI, have been mechanical guys, and it feels
Ryoma
over here, Ryoma, Kappa, are coming over and having opportunities to show off what they got, right? And I think that's pretty cool, but it feels nuts to me that they have no way to check to see how good they are unless they travel somewhere in boot camp or until international events. Like, it's literally...
Yeah, and just look at what happened, right? Like,
right.
So the team that made it before Mammoth, right? I think that was the team that Fudge was on, right? And then it's like half those players just disappeared instantly. It was like, okay, well, yeah. Well, like, it's like you make it to an international event. It's like, okay, well, we take Fudge, EU took Destiny. Like, everyone just fucking picks at the scraps, and then there's nothing left again.
Yeah.
Fantix went somewhere. King went to Cloud9 Academy, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
King. Sorry, yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, King.
Where did Fantix go?
Fantix was such a weird player because he was really good when I was in OC, right? Like, he was rank 1. And he was like probably one of the best players overall in the region. And then he just went to coaching when it was like super good, which just shows like how even like the best player even view it as like worthy. And apparently he hit in Korea, and everyone was like super hyped.
No.
Oh,
no.
F.
No.
F.
No.
Wait.
Saved?
No.
F saved.
No.
Was it? Is it? Do we know where it's from?
Oh, it's F's.
Okay.
It's not.
Fuck,
Not me.
what?
Green on mine. Is it froze on yours, Ellis?
No, it's green on mine. It says stream quality good.
Let me.
Oh,
Nice.
people are saying saved. Do we change server? Wait.
I don't know if it's. I'm looking to see what it is. I'm looking on the stream right now, and it looks good to me.
Everyone says saved now, but it was frozen.
Oh, frames drop. Okay.
Let me check if I dropped any frames. No, I dropped 0.
Weird.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All
They
right.
don't want us.
Well,
They don't want Ocean. How all the
True,
players
true,
are.
true.
Ocean's the next hotbed for talent.
I'm like 90% sure that Fantix hit Challenger Korea. Like,
No,
maybe
I had him added.
Really? Fantix Challenger Korea.
LT Direwolves, Fantic Rise.
I mean, he brands himself as that. I mean, he's like all major server challenger.
A lot of people do that, and it's so gross. I get really upset.
No, I'm like pretty sure. Okay, maybe he didn't. I just remember like everyone saying that he did when he was in OC.
Fudge said he did, so maybe he
Fudge
did.
he said Fudge said he did hit Challenger.
Fudge, do you know his ID? I can find it. Oh, I found it.
Oh yeah, he did. This is when he hit Challenger. But it was like early season Challenger, I guess.
Oh, was it January?
Maybe.
Doesn't count. These early season challenger scrubs. I can't even say that without fucking laughing, dude. That's ridiculous. Did you find it? Either way, the point is, Fantix is a beast, was able to prove it, decided it wasn't worth it or financially viable or any of those things. Tainted Minds comes to mind. And went to coaching when he's insanely talented, had the opportunity to probably take his talents elsewhere. However, Legacy still able to show up here on the world stage and the world stage is play-ins, but the world stage and go away with the 3-1, only losing to Team Liquid and unfortunately losing that tiebreaker.
Yep. Oh wait, Ellis is muted now? I can't hear him.
Yeah, Ellis is muted now. Ellis, Nick, hello?
Wait, yeah?
Okay.
Wait,
Okay,
how
now I
long?
can hear you.
We
Okay,
can
now
hear
you're
you.
unmuted.
All right, so the screenshot, he has 57 points with a Riot ID and 80 games played. So the
Yep.
season had just reset, and the Riot ID auto set him at D2, D1. Like, this is December 2016.
Yeah, I think he hit it. I think he hit it after that at some point, but I think that this is like the only screenshot he had. Because I remember like people were like hyping him up for being like 400, 500 points.
Okay, I don't. My memory was having him added, but that he never hit it.
Interesting. I think he went like a few times. So yeah, I mean the point is that like they had like players that were good. I like for sure, and then Shenfire was like top 5 before. So
Shenfire was really really high. Yeah. Dude, Shern is one of those, I don't totally understand what exactly happens with him. Like, he went to TL Academy and then he left, right? And now he's teamless, or he's in Korea again?
Well, he got the
start.
Kicked.
Yeah.
He got kicked from TL Academy.
He got
like,
the start.
He gets kicked from everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, apparently, like, I don't know, random people say he's toxic, but I don't believe that that's what it is. I mean, when I watched his matches in Academy, like, it's surprising how he's not dominating those games to me. Like he looks so good.
He's way better than the junglers. Yeah, he's way better.
He's really good. Like,
test him as a person for like personal reasons. I really don't like him. But
I've heard a lot of people
so
say
much
that.
better. He's so much better than so many junglers in major regions. He's actually just so much better. I will never have a conversation with him, but I won't deny his skill level.
Yeah,
so
it's the opposite. Like for some reason, he's always been super nice to me. Like he's always been like really like nice, just like like just like seemed like a good person. And then
he's
I don't know every time. Well, I did play against him really early on in his career.
Right.
So yeah,
like I've been around.
Yeah, 2016.
Got removed again from Direwolves.
Oh, again? Damn.
Yeah, he got removed again. What the hell?
He's the OC Dardock, man.
Is he the OC Dardock? That actually makes a lot of sense. Or
something like that.
Like that's a pretty good analogy that I think people could digest.
Well, I mean, look, you got to think about it like this, right? If you're from fucking OCE and you go like hit rank 1 multiple times in NA, like he had literally like 3 accounts of the top 5 at a point in NA, right? With 2 accounts rank 1 and rank 2, and you hit like rank like 3 or something in Korea.
He's consistently hit top 20. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. How much ego will you have at that point returning to OC? Like OC is like really a dead region, right? Like in terms of just activity. So like this guy's ego has to be through the roof. Like it just is what it is. Like he's way too well individually to like not have a crazy ego.
Tough. I can't wait for our Aussie fans of high-rated Aussie fans to weigh in on this one, because I like what you're saying makes sense to me. I just am not educated on if how like if that is actually valid, but it makes sense to me. You are a landlocked or a waterlocked continent that can only play each other because of ping, and that's all you got. Like that makes sense.
And like the server is so like I'm telling you, you get 0 LP, and like they had to change challenger to only top 50 in OCE. Really hit 0 LP and you'd get challenger. Like that's what it was. It was 0 LP and you'd auto tick into challenger. Yeah, like right now, I'm gonna go on their leaderboard just so I'm not saying any bullshit. But so right now, so 300 ranks is challenger, right? Everywhere else, rank 219 is diamond 100 LP. So like you would have challenger extend into like mid diamond 1 in OCE if they kept it 300 slots. That's how dead the region is.
The other thing about challenger on OC is there's such a wide discrepancy between what the challenger means. Like OC boot campers that come challenger, you could be anything from master, grandmaster to literally diamond 4. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Like it's so scary because I can't think of such polarity existing on like another region's ladder. Like the method in which people can just get challenger on OC. It would be like the equivalency of like the one tricks in North America trying to go to KR or EU or something. Yeah, it would just be really bad. Hold on, mate. Sorry about that.
One thing I would push forward, though, as Fudge is throwing some ha-has in the chat because he got out, is that even though this team, this region, this continent, this team that is landlocked, has no one else to practice against, no
Yeah,
one
they're
else
overperforming.
to play. They were able to smack Mad Lions because I feel like we've been on this region for a little bit too long. Mad Lions! Oh boy, EU fans, you guys were talking all that shit. They made the music video, and Shadow was a fucking imposter. He looked terrible. He looked like the other Shadow on R7 looked better. So what do you got to say for yourself, EU fans and Dom?
Well, for me, it's like I love that. Like I think that Arome was really poor performing, but because Arome's normally like that was just actually Arome's skill level. He's just not the imposter, right? Like that's just what you expect from Arome.
Yeah.
But Shadow is actually just like it was just night and day performances from like what it was in EU. I mean, it was just so weird to me. Like there was some things that were super confusing. Like the fact that this guy was essentially a Lee Sin one trick and he just played 0 games of Lee Sin on stage. Like not even when their backs were to the wall, it's like, okay, we need a fucking dub. Wasn't getting banned or anything. No Lee Sin at all. It's like, damn, like did this guy just lose all of his skill overnight? What happened? Why did they just why was he just unable to play jungle all of a sudden? I just don't get it.
I mean, so my take on Shadow is I remember live viewing LEC throughout the splits, and I would mauled over how much of a sinner he was and how much stuff he was doing made literally no sense, and it relied on opponents just blundering. There were so many ganks where the enemy mid laner or the enemy top laner just literally starts drooling on themselves, and then a gank works that should not have worked. And it felt like watching him play, he just actually doesn't think. Like I don't know how to say it. There's no thought process going through his mind when it comes to like pathing efficiently or just understanding a game state. And watching him play Evelyn was I have no idea. It's like he was trying to play her like Elise, and there was just no reason to. And then the weirdest thing for me is that so I think we've safely concluded he can only play Lee Sin, and it's because it's a Sinner champion that has some sort of autonomy on just outplaying, right? So every other champion he's played, it just looks like he's like C tier on it. It's so bad. Yeah, it's really bad. He loses to Boris a lot too.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, the thing for me is that people don't really like understand what type of champion Eve is. Like a lot of people are like, dude, if you can play Lee Sin, how could you not play Eve? It's like, well, Eve is all brain. Like it's all just like understanding how to like manipulate vision, what angles to come from, like just damage estimation, things like that, like how to really like abuse the fact that you're invisible. And you could just tell by the angles that he would approach fights from that he just had no clue like how to really play the champion, Like
same thing on Lilia.
Uh-huh.
He couldn't dance any fights. He didn't know how to dance any fights. He didn't know how to position on her. He didn't know how to space like leading up to fights. It was so weird. Like some of the games that he went like really good with Lilia, wasn't really him doing good at all. It's just the champion was busted. Or I mean, I think Lilia is busted, but she's been having obviously really, really poor results. But it's like, oh god, it's so sick. Live viewing it was brutal.
So
yeah, it looks like he lost all of his confidence. That's one thing that I'll say is like playing jungle professionally. I can tell you like no matter when it was, it's just a role. It's always relied heavily on confidence, and that's how you see junglers go from being like gods to being like worthless pretty quick, because so much of it is like being able to like go into the game and like be confident in your own plans, because you're the one that's going to make most of your jungle plans throughout the game. Like you can have like a general idea of like, oh, we're going to try to play around bot side or whatever, but just being able to like to know in your head like this is how I want to get my advantage, like this is how I'm gonna snowball the game. Like you have to have that idea of how to win as a jungler more than like most other lanes. You're gonna have to be like relying on other things. So like jungle is all about like being able to like figure out how to win the game. And if you just lose all your confidence and you're just like, all right, man, I'm just gonna sit back and try to get carried, like I don't have the confidence to actually go into the other guy's jungle and like try to fucking take the win. I'm just gonna let the win come to me. You see all these junglers start dropping off. So I feel like that's just a huge thing. Just looked like he was not confident. That's part of the reason why I felt like he didn't pick Lee Sin. It's because he wasn't confident enough to be like, yo, give me Lee Sin. I'm a 1v9 this shit. Like that's what you need to play Lee Sin right now. Like Lee Sin is not an OP champion right now. So if you're gonna play it, you have to like really, really, really know that you're gonna carry the fucking game if you get it.
When players have performances like this on the world stage, is this enough to like look elsewhere? Be like, hey, look, yes, we're the 4th seed. We made it to Worlds. We should be happy, but like, we should definitely get rid of Shadow because he just fucked up on the world stage, and we're not going to get it back. Is that like transferable.
The question for me is, does he realize that there's very little cerebral thought in his gameplay? If the answer is no, that he doesn't realize that, then yeah, it's a liability. Might not be a liability in his own region, with the 10 teams and whatnot, and if the laners are good and competent and whatnot, then you can just always pass by, because that's the fortunate thing about being a jungler. Is that you can actually be worse than other players, but it can be masked by laners just being too oppressive and then giving you so much freedom. I don't know. I remember just also thinking that, like, the way that Mad Lions approaches so many things, sometimes Shadow is under insane pressure with the way that the drafts are, and that it's very hard to play as a jungle. I like what Dom said about Arome earlier on, about, like, it wasn't that he's the imposter, it's just sort of like what the assumed skill level was. And I think that a lot of people thought that that was going to be Mad Lions' weakness coming into Worlds. I think, like, the biggest factor this plans for Mad Lions was that Humanoid was probably the second best laner under Xie throughout all of plans, and then it was Armut, right? Am I saying that right? Armut, right?
Armut.
Yeah.
Yep.
Humanoid was like, he just was refusing to lose games. And even with those kind of lane kingdoms that were present in mid lane, it just couldn't do anything. Felt really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a good way to, like, show how destroyed the team's mental was in terms of, like, their jungle was just draft, right? If you're having to ban Hecarim, Nidalee every single game, both sides, first 3, no matter what, like, you can't even take one away on blue side. And Shadow was somebody who was one of the first people to pull out Hecarim, right? Like, this guy loves Hecarim. They played comps around only as Hecarim. So, for example, they played Sona Lux in LEC, and the core part of that Sona Lux comp is, yeah, we're going to heal and shield and be strong, but they rely on the fact that they're going to run a Hecarim into the game and he's going to take over. They couldn't even play Hecarim by the end of it. So this team really had nothing to fall back on. Also, I think they mind getting themselves, like, early on in the playing stage, thinking that they were against playing teams so that maybe they could, flex a little bit and well, not even, like, goof around, but just they tried to play styles that they're clearly not good at, right? Like, we saw them play carry 3 times in a row, top into Finn in LEC, right? They got shit on in all those games. Like, Finn was not a strong top laner over the course of the split, but he looked like a god when he was playing tanks into Arome's carries. Arome just can't play carries, right? He's just a tank player. And then they just put him on, like, Camille and shit. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? Of course he's going to get shit on. It just doesn't make sense.
One of the really weird things about Mad Lions is if you go into their match history and see their drafts, it feels like you're, like, looking at magical thinking. I don't know if you
what?
Magical thing is, like, something that you derive your entire basis based off like feeling and intuition, right? You look at all of their drafts and it's like they go through, like, you know when you have those, like, weeks where you only eat the same thing over and over, and then the next week it's the same thing over and over, and the next week it's the same thing over and over, like it's habit, right? All of their drafts are just like pattern blocks. And then it's like they just start losing, like, oh no, we're gonna change something up, and then they just keep fucking doing it, right? As if all that they're doing is playing an identity, but they have no fundamental idea on how to play, which is so evident just by watching their pivots throughout all of their drafts, like, that happen in a very short time span.
Yeah,
when you look at their entire pick match history. Yeah,
they started off, they're like, we're an Eve team, man. We're an Eve team. Eve Lucian. We got Camille top. That's how we're gonna fucking win our game. Shadow's gonna care. Play 2 games of Eve. They're like, all right, fuck Eve for the rest of the tournament. We're not going to touch it one more goddamn time. Arome was playing carries. Same thing happened to him. It just felt like they just had a complete loss of, like, or whatever. What I thought was when they went into the game, the tournament, they had such a defined mindset of how they wanted to play. And when that collapsed, it felt like they were just throwing, like, fucking darts at a wall and just like, oh, what are we going to do next? Let's just fucking pick. And then they just would choose based on wherever the dart would fucking land. It's like, oh, I guess we're like a Casio team that plays Graves. Like, they had no clue what the fuck they were anymore. They didn't know if they were a Lee Sin team. They didn't know if they could only play tanks top. And then you look at their opponents, and Armut, who's a better laner than Arome, is willing to play a tank every single game. That's fucking crazy to me.
So what I hear is 100 Thieves Humanoid, maybe? Yeah.
God.
Humanoid.
Thieves,
More money over here, better weather, girls probably, if you're
you want
guys, whatever.
Humanoid?
Yeah, Humanoid.
To replace Ryoma?
Yeah, okay, that's a little too far, D-Gon.
All right, my bad. Sorry, sorry, Tommy boy.
Look,
Sorry,
look.
Tommy boy.
We know based off this that OC is a better region than EU. So why would we replace an OC player with a European?
Yeah. That was
True.
ridiculous. Holy shit. How could I think the #1 team in OSH represents all of their dominance over all of EU with their fourth
and I read Reddit. Like, I know how it goes. You know, EU is clearly just the worst region in the world because their 4th seed is how we judge an entire region now.
Yeah, they are the first major region to not qualify into the group stage,
except for HKA technically in like 2018 or some shit.
Yeah, well, yeah, HKA that's no longer a major region. Do they even exist? Does the Attitude exist? Are they in PCS? I think they got usurped by other people. The other surprise that came out of this and is going to lead to me, a ton of questions going into the group stage is the fantastically interesting story of PSG Talon / AHQ / Machi Esports, because that's where those players came from. So it was said right off the top, had some quarantine COVID issues with Unified, Rivera, and Tank. So you had D, Uniboy, and Kongyu rotate in for this squad, and they looked very good. They did look very good. I tweeted out recently though, because I was confused about it, and there wasn't a big, I guess, circus or spotlight on the fact that they were able to get emergency substitutes to play for the team. So D and Uniboy and Kongyu, let's see, was it Uniboy and Kongyu are players in the PCS. Uniboy, I think, from AHQ had the same amount of MVPs as Tank did in the mid lane during the season. And then, so that to me was kind of interesting. It's like, hey, we didn't get anybody, or even just our sub that we brought. It's like someone else who's just as good, if not better, than our player. And then Kongyu coming in and was just dominant. Was absolutely dominant throughout. So to me, it feels really weird now that we're having the shift back, and obviously D got one game and then Unified came in. And looked good. They all, the team looked good, but you have this team that qualified that is now different than the team getting to play in group stages. And so it was officially recognized by the guy running Worlds. I forgot his name. I'll look it up in a second. As well as PSG. They did put out the notice beforehand. Hey, we got permission that this is happening. We're glad that we're able to participate. And to be honest, like, it would throw the groups into like an absolute mess if you all of a sudden have 5 in one group, 4 in the other, given that the 2 VCS champs could not go on. So I understand it makes sense, but I want to get your guys' thoughts on having emergency substitute players come in. We'll start with you this time, LS.
I mean, so I didn't know a whole lot. I was very open about that coming into plans, I did not have a lot of takes on basically a lot of the teams. I ended up finding out like midway that apparently the consensus is that the subs are way better than their main players. And then, I mean, PSG I think was the most surprising thing that came out of all of this, which was very weird. The other strange thing to me is that if the actual consensus is that all these players are better, why would they not just continue to use them? I have no idea about that. I don't know. Like, obviously there's gonna be the Captain Care Bears on Reddit and in Twitch chat and stuff that are like, but the main team deserves to play. They made it there. Shut the fuck up. So the points to win, and then for everyone.
Apparently they're not allowed to. It's what.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were not allowed to. This was emergency substitutes, and the substitutes were only granted.
Let's get another emergency sub.
It was only granted based off the fact that the players were going to be able to show up later on, right? They were there. They were just quarantined, and it was.
I would just tell Tank and River to just cough a couple times and just be like, no, they got COVID. Like, we're done with those guys. Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. We just don't. For the safety of the league, we have to play with Kongyu and Uniboy. Like, it just is what it is.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
Literally taking a dive.
Well,
for the
okay.
team. Holy
so
moly.
my serious take is I completely agree with the people that are saying that the subs are better. I think this team was a little bit overrated based off people just thought they were really good because they beat LGD, right? In the first day, that's like where they started getting their hype because no one expected that. But I didn't actually think that they were super good. I mean, LGD just looked pretty bad the entire playing stage, and they should have lost the tiebreaker to UOL, in my opinion. I mean, UOL was up like however many thousand gold with Ziggs, and then they just chain ended, and PSG ended up stealing that game. So I feel like the hype was a little bit like too high based on like the type of team they have. And then also, yeah, Tank and River are just like boring players compared to Kongyu. Yeah, and Uniboy to me. I don't know. I just feel like when you look at Kongyu, he had some things that made him special. Like I hate the Echo pick. You know, I hate Echo jungle. I think it's really weak. But the fact that he was able to play it and play it super well made other teams ban it. And it just gives them like some leverage and makes them kind of interesting. But their main player, like River's just like a Graves player to me, man. Like that's who he is. Like I don't think that's gonna win you games versus Damwon or JDG. Maybe an Echo, like, which is bad, could end up popping off because people aren't used to playing into it, and the guy looks really comfortable on it. Who knows? I just feel like you have a better chance of winning with people that are more interesting. I feel like this team, maybe this team, or maybe River and Tank are better players, but they're definitely more standard players in my opinion. And I feel like that's just a disadvantage when you're playing against teams as strong as Damwon and Jingdong.
LS, but do you feel like it's fair that they were here in the first place? Because to me, this just feels like a super team, right? You just got the PCS super team to boost you through play-ins, right? This could have been someone else's spot. This is very much could have been Legacy moving through. This very much could have been, R7 moving through. Like that's the way that I would look at it if I'm one of those other teams.
I think if an argument is that a super team on very short notice in practice is beating you, then you probably don't deserve to advance in the tournament anyway. Because I can't think of one region where if you just took the 5 best players, they would actually beat like the top 2 or 3 best teams. Because cohesion and maybe North America, they would probably win. Yeah, maybe NA, but I think Europe. I think Korea would. I think the top Korean teams would shit on the Korean super team, probably on such short notice. Anyway, because we've seen Korea try to make super teams, and it doesn't necessarily just win all the time. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, it feels weird to me if you it just feels really weird. Really weird.
Yeah,
I don't think that should be an argument.
Well, yeah, because both of you, and I think that's a fair point, because both of you guys went directly to like, hey, I watched and these players are better. I wanted to even go before that, where it was like, should this have even been allowed, or like both of them, both players coming in, they had one emergency sub, or they had one sub, then you can get one more emergency sub and use them to play it out and make it fit in your roster.
Right.
Like
I feel like anyone could. I mean, I feel like 3 teams advanced from Group B, right? The only teams that didn't advance, it was R7 and the Japanese team, and I don't think either of those teams is advancing either way. So I don't think there's much of a discussion to be had.
I had a question about Jose Diodo. Is Mexico import?
Well, I think he's Argentinian. Let me see, Jose Diodo.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, he's Argentinian, so it would be Latin America South, which would definitely be an import, because Quas was an import and he was Latin America South as well, so he would definitely be an import. Yeah.
Oh, fucking that sucks, man. Riot needs to.
Yeah, they need to stop making minor league. They need to stop making minor league players count as imports. That's like the best way to improve NA.
Stop. Yeah, but then you argue that. Well, yes. So that's the best way to improve NA. But it comes at the sacrifice of the minor regions, right?
It comes at the sacrifice of minor regions because like, again, look at all the minor region players that would be here. Like what? So Closer would immediately comes to mind.
Yes.
And then
like the number 1 draft pick, like everyone would want that motherfucker.
Everyone would want that. And then all the Osh players that are here. So that is Fudge, King, FBI Lost. And Tommy.
Yeah, dude. If a team of like the 5 best OC players starts beating up on NA players, it's like, I'm like, can you even be mad at that? Like, what the fuck? These guys are the underdogs. We should be able to produce better talent than them, based off the fact that we have more resources, bigger server, like just updated facilities, higher quality coaches. Like it should. Like,
air conditioning. Yep.
Air conditioning. True.
Yeah. God, sorry, Osh fans. It's just we wanted you to win.
No, I feel bad. I feel bad about import rule. I feel really bad about it.
That is a good question though about like if a
gross.
Mexican nationality player counts as North American. I assume so, but now that you got me thinking about it, right? Lion Gaming was a Mexican organization. They were a Mexican organization, and I think they had to play in LAN no matter what. But now that they're LLN, I'm not exactly sure where that resides or lands. Okay, so Talon making it out. Was there anything else that we needed to hit? Like TL getting through quickly? Do we want to talk TL here, or do we just talk when we get to group stages?
Yeah, talk about TL when we get to group stages.
Did any other team surprise you? I will say that first game
UOL
was such a fiesta. UOL getting through. So Sheepy, he gets banished all the way to the CIS and still finding success. I think he's got to be up there with like underrated coaches, guys that have just been around for a long time. Because you can imagine going from a major region to a minor region, sticking with the team, sticking with the organization, not the team, getting a new team and still finding ways to find success. Like I have so many props for that. That's huge. That's huge for him. A lot of respect.
Respect for Sheepy. I feel like this team is actually like really well coordinated. They remind me of M5 in that way that they were like a really, really, really coordinated team. But the problem with this team is like in their group versus TES and Dragon X, I just feel like they're just gonna get outlaned, honestly. Like people really like they flame Dragon X players because they compare Dragon X players to like Damwon players and like, all right, well, like obviously Doran can't compete with Nuggery. Dude, Doran will probably pipe boss. Like he is probably gonna like realistically, I'd be really surprised if Doran like struggled in lane versus somebody like boss or if No Man's versus Trophy. Come on, like let's be real. That's gonna go bad.
No Man's gonna survive from that kind of beatdown because Chovy will be putting it on. All right. So UOL though, they're able to move on. Mad Lions, first major region team not able to make it. It is the 4th seed. I see some of you in the chat saying, "Oh, what? We only sent 3," or I see, our 4 teams did make it. UL made it through. I like both of those. Let's turn our attention now to let's close the chapter on probably the best play-in stage that we've seen so far. A lot of fighting, a lot of nerves, and TL making it through and not giving anyone a heart attack, and LGD making the money, man. For all of those wagers, they made the money for those people. Let's move on over to Worlds. Now we've got our group stages, a group stage team set. So it's mostly what we expected. Unicorns of Love sneaking through instead of Mad Lions, but that puts TL in A, PSG in B. Are we calling them PSG or are we calling them Talon?
Anyway. PSG. I'm calling them fucking Neymar squad.
Yeah, Neymar squad B, LGDC. Oh, dang. LGDC instead of LGCC. Unlucky. All right, that was my last Osh joke for the day. And UOL in D. So does this change anything? All right, TL gets in a group where there's a little bit of life. PSG, can they make some noise there? But maybe not. We don't know because they have a random roster. LGD, they were sandbagging the whole time to cover the wages, and Unicorns of Love's there. Happy to be there. Thoughts on how this changes everything? Where do we want to start?
All I'm saying is if any team outside of Top Esports, Dragon X, Suning, maybe G2 got into that group B, they would all just be dead. Like any team that got into this group B would just be dead in the fucking water playing against those two teams. So that group, I just feel bad for PSG. It's like, all right, nice. Like your subs did well. You made it to the main stage. Now you're just going to get absolutely fucking clapped. Like,
yeah.
And like the matchups I think are really fucking horrible too. Like when you look at Rogue, this is one thing I said in that breakdown that I did. When you look at Rogue, right, like their weakest point was definitely Finn. Finn was by far the weakest player on the team. And they kind of masked that by putting him on tanks and just playing away from him. It's so hard to play into both Damwon and JDG because both those teams play so heavily topside and they'll just fucking dive you. Like they're going to play things that are abusive and both those junglers are super fucking good. Both those junglers are just going to kill you once, drop Herald, you're going to be down like 3K right off the beginning, like right off the bat. So it's pretty fucking rough for Rogue. I feel bad for that team being placed there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that group would be. I think there's no chance for PSG or Rogue to make it out. I mean, I have Dom1 topping it. I don't know about. I didn't see your pick'ems, but I had Dom1 topping it. I mentioned. I think it was on Froskurin's stream yesterday. So apparently, Dom1 are requesting Korean teams, like off-season Korean teams, to scrim. Because teams in China will not scrim them anymore, or like boot camping teams. I tried to ask Nemesis for confirmation on this, if he's heard anything of the sorts, but apparently the scrim Dom1 is in full effect right now.
Okay, so I know that European teams are at least scrimming Dom1. I don't know about Chinese teams, but I know that European teams outside of that group have at least scrimmed them since they've been there. So.
They've scrimmed them. They've scrimmed them. Yeah. This is a new new thing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess at least in the last week. So I mean, I'm looking forward to that. I'm curious to see what is gonna actually end up happening in the end.
Do you feel like because one thing that surprised me about the play-ins, and just, it was Worlds, we had our ceremony, cool, 3D fucking ground, whatever, and it felt like, okay, that to me felt like Worlds. It's here. And then we saw some sloppy-ass play. We saw some nerves. We saw the TP onto the minion. We saw some weird-ass shit.
Teleport.
Yeah, like, that was bad. Do you feel
Tyler won a port.
Do you feel like this is something that, like, could show up here in the main stage? Like, hey, look, the group stage teams haven't played yet, where the play-in stage teams, they got their games in, they're at least a little battle tested. I feel like there's at least one or two teams that are gonna have that stage like fright, and we're going to have a couple of losses. Do you feel like that could happen to anybody, and if so, who do you feel like it could happen to?
Suning. I feel like it could happen to Suning. So
that's what I thought. Sick.
Yeah, I think it could happen to Suning so easy. I mean, I like, dude, Bin literally turned 18 4 days ago. Their top laner, who's like one of the best top laners in LPL in terms of like individual skill, ton of fucking solo kills, dominates lanes, can play carry top laners. This guy just turned 18 and he's being thrown into like this amount of pressure. I feel like teams like G2 that just have like that confidence on stage, that could be a huge edge, but it's hard for me to predict like how much that stage confidence is going to carry Western teams. Like, for example, Fnatic, I think, has a decent amount of like experienced players that have been there before that might not get as shook as some of the other teams, but like I still feel like the West is coming in pretty weak to this this Worlds, and that's kind of said every year. And I feel like there could be overperformances, and that's kind of just what you have to hope for. That's why you got to like play these games out, because if everything went according to like which teams I think are the absolute like stronger teams and they got out, I think that we wouldn't get a Western team past quarters. But I feel like one of these teams is going to collapse, right? We've seen people historically collapse.
Right.
I think that we're really fortunate for Group A. Like Dom, I don't know if you're placing any other Western teams to get out, but the only one I have getting into quarters is G2. And it's a byproduct of Group A. Oh, you have Fnatic getting out in Group C?
Mm-hmm.
Who's your Group C?
Hey, wait, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that, LS.
Okay.
Break down your point first. Break down your point first. We can't give him the fucking cake before we eat dinner.
Yes, we can. Fuck. All right.
Go to your room.
I mean, yeah. fucking death realm over here. So, I feel like I've knocked on this so many times, right? Western teams just look so much weaker coming into this Worlds, but then there's also the element that a lot of them have not been playing on stage. Whereas Chinese teams and Korean teams obviously have the advantage there. And then there's also the whole post-quarantine stuff. Like, obviously, they've been out of quarantine for a little bit now, but there's been some pretty big horror stories behind the scenes of how quarantine was affecting certain players and whatnot. So that's, that's another big question mark.
I feel like you'd
that
be
can
perfect
there.
in quarantine. Like I feel like you're just in quarantine all the time anyway. So like, if you
Me?
if you got quarantined,
Oh,
you'd
I
be
am.
chilling.
Yeah.
Like, it would just be nothing. It'd just be like Tuesday for you. All other people are freaking out.
I go to my first floor and then I come right back up, and those are my days.
Holy shit. Yeah, I'm the same way, dude. I don't know why I'm talking shit.
Yeah, both of you guys, man. What was that? That was mad projecting, bro.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to throw it on to LS, you know?
I mean, but all these teams are all the teams, and maybe except China, because I think even Munch was saying it our last episode. It was like, yeah, China feels like it's kind of going back to normal now. Other than Chinese teams, are coming from places that quarantine was still in place, isolation was still in place. So like, I don't know. I feel like some of these teams would be used to that.
Yeah, I'm not totally.
Yeah, I don't think that felt like the valid reason why a team would crash. Because even then, Ashley Kang posted her video with Reckless saying, "Hey, for some people, quarantine wasn't great. For me, it gave me a ton of time to sit down and force me to look at my thoughts and go about things that way." And
Dom's muted.
Reckless felt pretty good.
Shouldn't be muted.
Yeah.
Am I muted
Okay.
on?
No, you're good.
Okay, I hear you. Okay.
So
Am I muted on the stream?
no, you're good. It looked like your mouth is moving, but
Quarantine.
you weren't saying anything yet. So
I don't think.
Yeah, quarantine's really weird. Because it's like actually being in prison with a computer, right? Pretty much. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
That's called life for me.
Oh, is
like I don't know.
Okay.
It was literally like it's like I had college and then I started doing like professional gaming, and since then it's just been me and a computer. Like I swear, like I've been on a computer like 10 hours a day, every single day, at least for the last fucking 10 years or some shit.
Well, guys, I gotta go. Crowny showed up, so
Oh shit.
Oh, shit.
yeah, I gotta go. My day's kind of ruined.
All right, so it's time to show off the pick'ems. I think we've talked about the mentality of these teams. We talked about the play-in teams slotting on in. So let's just show them first, and then we can discuss. LS, we'll go with you first.
At Pick'ems?
Yes. Before we show them, why don't you talk us through your thought process here? I'm pretty sure.
I think G2. I think Europe in general towards the end just looked really shaky, and I think G2's high variance. But I don't see them losing to TL. Machi, I'll be honest, don't know a whole lot about it. But I can't imagine them beating TL or G2. Machi, yeah, they just suffer from like the unfortunate thing where they're in a group where the teams are actually pretty solid. Even though G2 does have that volatility. Suning, I think, looks really scary from the few amount of LPL games that I did end up watching. But I imagine that they would just top the group. Also from the murmurs that I've heard about how they are compared to the other
like
LPL
scrim
teams.
gods. They're like monsters or something.
Yeah. So that, it's basing off of that. Group B, obviously, I think is pretty standard. Dom1, JD Gaming, PSG Talon, and then Rogue. I put PSG above Rogue. I don't know why. I don't expect anything out of Rogue. As weird as that sounds, and I felt like PSG Talon, even if they use their subs, I don't think it's impossible to beat them. So I think that there's also the order of games comes into play here, and where they can actually be. Also, I don't know how Rogue's been adjusting. I haven't heard anything about their scrims or anything like that. I just don't have high hopes. And then obviously, and also Rogue, I mean, they can choke really hard if you remember their games from LEC. Group C is pretty standard. Genji, LGG Gaming, Fnatic, TSM. So I think, like, there's these really odd, dude. You know what comments I fucking hate the most is on Reddit, the people that like use probability and statistics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck those guys
Jesus.
using logic.
Well, they don't know how
no.
they actually like work though.
Oh,
They don't
my
understand statistics.
fucking god. Yes, they don't understand. What is it? Applicability or practical? What would be the word here?
Practicality.
Yeah,
Practicality.
how
sounds
practical, right?
Yeah.
It would be how practical something is. Like when you review this group, they're like, well, if you crunch the numbers here and you give TSM this % to win across this many games, then it is unreasonable to assume they can't win a game. And it's like, yeah, it's not totally how that works. Like, that works that way if it's like total random chance.
Do you still think they're gonna go 0-6? TSM?
Yes.
Damn. I feel like LGD looks so
maybe,
to me.
But maybe when my jersey arrives, then
all right,
I'll change my tune.
Okay, we get it. You get jerseys from every team. What the fuck?
Yeah. You know, that's funny because I thought it was yours, and I'll show it right now. I was like, what the hell? Why do you have Team Liquid 1 and Rogue 2, TSM 2, FlyQuest 2? Yes, I know that's woman. That's woman.
Yeah.
But the dangers of you saying, hey, it's on my Twitter, and I'm like, hey, fuck you. I just asked you to send it to me, and so I go to your Twitter, I pull up the first one. So,
I don't know how powerful fucking woman is. I guess that's what we're calling her now. But putting top esports fourth, like, that's just not possible. Like, that's just not happening. Like, Jesus, there's no way.
Oh, so you don't know about her?
Yes,
right,
the opposite always happens.
The opposite always happens, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so then PSG going first, like, I don't know about that either. It's just equally crazy to me. Machi getting out, I don't know, man.
I mean,
how good. Hold on, woman. Wait, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wait, Machi. Oh, Machi.
Machi and PSG.
Oh yeah, Machi would get out. Yeah, that one's a big headache, and then Dom one's a big headache. Although she did predict Dom one to win Worlds.
Oh, that's going to be really hard for them if they don't get out of groups, though, I must say. Like, that would be really difficult.
Yeah.
Fucking
right. Woman.
I'm not sure about the math on that, but
yeah.
Sounds logical.
What?
Oh, God.
You have UL over FlyQuest?
I do. Wait,
both of you?
He does?
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I've just accepted this. I preface all my FlyQuest like predictions to just, like, I just never predict this team to win for some reason. Like, if you go back, I don't know why. Like, I actually like the players on the team.
I know you do.
But I always just feel like they're gonna do poorly.
Why? Like, I'm always the one standing up for him, and you're like, yeah, actually, say Torrent's always great. And
like, if you were to go with, I mean,
you're the only one you don't like that you shit on is usually Turtle, and like.
And Solo, I don't think is very good either. But it's just like, I don't know where their wins are going to come. It's like, yeah, they're like, they play pretty solid together, I guess. But like, UL does that as well. And I feel like UL is more interesting. And I feel like their balling could be exploited by UL's ball. So I think that UL's best part of their team is their bot lane. I think that's the actual part that's good. I mean, the top lane and the mid lane, they can pull out some interesting picks. They're okay. But in terms of like, their raw skill level, you saw them even get exposed versus LGD. Like when you put No Man's up versus GA, he's just getting fucking clapped left and right. You put Longqing versus Boss is just getting solo killed too. I feel like Gadget and Santos are actually pretty solid in the way that they play lane. I don't think that it's going to be a huge issue, and I just feel like because Gadget is so like weird with all of his picks, that they should just end up getting bot prio in almost every game versus FlyQuest. I mean, the way that Ignar plays, like, they can't even play the prio lanes really well anyway.
Sure.
But you watch their Kate Lux, it doesn't look like Kate Lux. Like, when you watch Jackie Love and Yoon Jia play Kate Lux, they're in your turret, right? Like, they're dry humping your turret. Your turret is like, you're losing plates, 10 minutes, they're just fucking taking it. It's like Season 5 Forgiven up in that bitch. Like, they're taking that turret in front of you, right? That's how they play lane. Turtle and Ignar, they just like lose lane on Kate Lux. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, I guess Morgana's not terrible into Lux. Like, I thought that was pretty bad, but I don't know. For them, I just don't have the same confidence in their ability to actually like fuck up the lane. I don't think that they can, really abuse them. And I just think that FlyQuest's biggest strength is also UL's like a good strength for UL, and I just feel like UL is just a mentally tough team. Maybe it's just I'm scarred from getting shit on by M5 in that fucking final like 8 years ago, wherever the fuck it was. But just like that Russian mindset, like I swear, like you see like Russian players in any game, and like they don't give a fuck. Like they're never scared. Like they never look nervous. They never look scared. It's like, dude, we fucking deal with fucking communism. You think we care about this goddamn game? Like, you think this shit is stressing us out? Like, we got to go home after this shit. Like they're fucking confident. They're gonna do well. Like I believe in them.
All right. Well, after that rant, why don't we go through the rest of your picks here, Tom? So here we go. G2 Suning, TL, Machi and A, JDG, Damwon, Rogue, PSG and B, Group C, no TSM making it through, Genji, Fnatic, TSM, LGD, and then Top DRX, Fly, and Unicorns of Love. This is the standard, isn't it? This is pretty standard bracket.
I don't know what the standard is. I don't think I saw many of the brackets looking like mine. Like either people had Suning first, or they had like Damwon. Like I feel like standard right now is Damwon over JDG. Like,
Sorry,
I feel like not that
this
many.
is standard qualification. I think so.
Maybe I don't know.
Maybe people put TSM, over Fnatic, but
I like Dom. Your pronunciations are on point today. You said Damwon and then Domwon within the same sentence.
Well, I just do it because I know it's gonna trigger you. You know, like I just do
okay.
what you did to literally every single person that tried to view LCK over the last 2 years when Aatrox is meta. So I hope you like. Yeah, I hope you like a fucking taste of your own medicine. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh jeez.
And you know what I do now is I throw in like instead of just calling them JDG, I call them Jing Dong Gaming. Just to like, just to fucking fuck with people, you know, like because that's our actual name. That's our actual name, and no one knows it. Everyone just calls them JDG. So like I just call them Jing Dong, and then people just get confused.
This is gonna be good.
Yeah, I don't know. Wait, that's not my thing, is it? I think I had UOL over FlyQuest.
This is yours. This is the one that you linked to me. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't lock in your Oh,
I didn't lock it in. What is that? Do I still have time to lock it in?
No,
I have no idea.
It's over.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Whatever. I fucking video footage of my pick'ems before the fucking thing. So if I'm right, I'm right. You know, who cares?
The thing about FlyQuest versus Unicorns Love is like I don't think I've ever felt so nice about like Unicorns of Loves are so consistent in their drafts. I remember doing all the live viewings with Crowny and whatnot, and UOL just generally has draft advantage over opponents. It's like really fucking weird. I've never seen, or at least in my stance on draft or whatnot. I don't think I've ever seen that from a team in any region. Or at least not the level of consistency and not how it goes about happening. So I think that's one of the most impressive things for me about them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that people cite they don't like. One thing that I hate that people were talking about is like, oh well, like UOL just like blind picks Kassadin, or they say things like that where it's like they don't actually blind pick Kassadin. They blind pick Kassadin versus Balulu, who can't play any counters to Kassadin. Like I'm sure that they're not going to blind pick Kassadin against Chovy, because if they do, Chovy's just going to pull out like the Tristana or something and like put it like way. He's going to tear that ass up like if you play that matchup. So. That's not something that's fine. Balulu is actually just the most exploitable melee. It was so cringe to seeing like how he counterpicked. It's like, oh yeah, third pick Kassadin, bunch of marksmen up, Tristana, like there's a bunch of better mages than Azir, and like there are ways you can actually beat Kassadin with Azir, like Halo of Blades and like fucking Cold Start and shit like that, and you just beat his ass. It was none of that, dude. He's just like, yeah, no, I'm playing Comet Azir and I will farm it out 50-50 with the Kassadin. What? Crazy to me, man.
Not all players know how to play aggressive and the world stage again, right? You see what the world stage does to people.
Yeah, I just feel like that's just like such a not confident mid laner. I feel like even if you've never practiced those picks as a team, you have to like literally just see what the enemy team's trying to do. It's like, oh, they just don't think I play Tristana into Kassadin. Like you don't get a freer matchup than that besides for like Lucian into Kassadin. Like that, if you've ever played that matchup, it is like a fucking joke.
Draven.
Yeah,
Draven's really gross. No one plays him solo lane. It's really
most AD carries just fuck Kassadin it up. Like I don't know. You can do what we've seen players do from even NA, like what Niski did into Kassadin. Call on a mage, you still beat Kassadin. Like you start Cole and you auto attack a mage, you take attack speed runes. Like you can actually just fuck him up like with auto attacks. Like the champion can't play.
Yep. LeBlanc can actually like really beat him in lane phase, even though a lot of people consider it Kassadin favored.
Yep.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
All right. Well, those are your experts' lock-ins. I had mine done. I didn't save them, so when I tried to pull mine up, they're
I
gone.
gotta run to the bathroom.
That's fine. You don't want to see this shit anyways.
This is. I don't know. Wait, can you see this? This is what's locked in for me and my pick'ems.
You show it to me.
Does that actually work? What is this?
Is this yours? It's mine. I made it on Paint while you guys were talking.
Oh, nice.
This is yours? You had TSM topping Group C?
No. That's not mine. Wait, why did it show that? Does that show yours? I guess it's just. Oh, I guess it's just my picks.
No,
it's my picks, so it's just whatever yours were. Okay, so it doesn't actually. Wait, how do I share it then?
These weren't my picks, dog. What the fuck is this?
All right, here we go.
Why is this number 1? Yeah, send it to me. Give me the link.
This one should work.
Mine was made glorious on Paint. All right.
Holy shit, that's not my picks. What the fuck was that?
It was the general ranking of teams.
Yep.
That it just so it went straight up. So mine didn't.
Yeah, I guess the thing that I would push back on with LS is Fnatic. I feel like Fnatic just normally gets out of groups like this. I feel like they're a tested team. Like most of the players, I don't think are gonna have choking issues,
right.
And I feel like they match up. I think LGD is kind of weak. I mean, the main person that I rated really highly on LGD coming into this was Peanut, and Peanut just looked like shit. Even in the best of fives that they were. No, he just looked straight up bad. Like if you looked at how he was playing in LPL, like he was carrying games. Like you would get him Kindred, and it would be like, oh, this motherfucker is gonna take over this goddamn game. He's just behind a lot of the time. It feels like his pathing is off. It feels like he's not confident. He's far, like his level is so much different from what you'd expect based on what we've seen. It's like Peanut levels of, or it's like Shadow levels of different in terms of like what you'd expect versus like how he played. Not saying that he played as bad as Shadow, but like he was expected to play a lot better, at least from my perspective. So I think that Peanut not being confident makes the team way less scary. In general, like they were one of the teams from China that I was confident in playing those Renekton Volibear top lane team comps where they would just play like a really aggressive top lane matchup that's focused on setting up dives, and Peanut would just dive them 100 times, get super far ahead, and carry the whole game. Since he doesn't look like that, I actually don't think LGD looks good, and I feel like Fnatic could definitely beat them.
I agree, and that's what I want to see. Why LS thinks LGD will still be better than even that and TSM. Like LGD showed up and looked bad, like until they looked good, and maybe that's what he's thinking, right?
But
it's like
they were barely beating OC in some of those games.
Yeah, like game 2, right? Game 2 was.
There's some really big weaknesses I see with LGD. Like their setups around dragons are fucked. Like they don't know what they're gonna do. They show up to the dragon, they look at the enemy team, they're like, so are we flanking? Are we poking? Like what the fuck are we doing here? And then they just kind of run into the enemy team and fight and die.
Yeah, you know what? That's what it felt like. It felt like they were like, hey, why aren't they fighting us yet? I feel like we should be fighting. Let's fight. and just ran into Legacy and whoever they were playing at the time. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think that they're like, I don't have them going through. I have Genji and Fnatic anyway. But here we go. Here's Paint. The Abomination is here. Just because I couldn't find a beautiful way to do this real quick, and the thing didn't lock and save mine. We covered it. I think Suning is going to be the disappointment of the tournament. I think Suning is going to struggle and suffer, and so Suning drops, and TL slides through.
TL, holy shit.
I think TL slides through. I think Machi's better than what people think because
you think Fly over Dragon X? This is blasphemy. I can't.
No, come on, man.
FlyQuest over Dragon X. Oh,
you always shortchange them, dude.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Evil and Ignar. This is it. This is what they were brought to this team to do.
It's just like, I don't know, something about the team. Like, for example, they were the team that I had the most drastic, like misplacing of in Spring Split. Like coming into Spring this year, I was like, yeah, they're gonna be like the seventh or eighth place. Yeah,
I remember.
I thought they were gonna be pretty bad, and then they ended up getting second. And then this season, yeah, I didn't expect them to get second this season. I was like, okay, Cloud9's still gonna be the best. I like when I saw TSM's new roster, like I thought they were gonna be good. I thought TL was gonna be good again. I had like FlyQuest fourth coming into summer. Like I just never expect this team to do well. So I guess I just fucking hate them or something. Like, secretly, I had no idea.
If it's one of those things, and I agree with this type of thinking, if you subconsciously do it, it's one of those teams that they got to show up and do it first, right? Every other team that we usually think is better than them either has players that have been able to do it and win championships before, or are a team that has won a championship before and coming into good form. So I think FlyQuest is a team where it's like, hey, look, they've just been able, to me, they've been able to do it. Get second place, constant. Look at what happened to Cloud9, upended, couldn't even hold their water in a pretty straightforward, easy second half of the split, and they couldn't do it. Whereas FlyQuest has been consistent. They've been there, and I've said it all along. Power of Evil's secret power is to neutralize the other mid laner. However, I'm sure it'll be not a great matchup here.
Hey, yeah. So I just Man, all right.
Wait, what just happened?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Who has that much of an eventful shit, dude? Like what?
Wait, you came back on?
Yeah, man. Like
I was just,
cheeks,
I was just.
It was really cold and great.
You see, I'm a bit of an empath, and I was just thinking about how FlyQuest are gonna feel in 2 hours.
Come on, man. You too? You heard? You're on the phone. FlyQuest is gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine.
I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't really feel pretty good after I take a shit. So maybe FlyQuest is gonna be having like a good time. I get it.
No. I felt like something was, oh man.
Holy shit. Yeah, I don't know why FlyQuest like ends up performing well. Like, still, even like when I watch them play, I'm like, okay, they're pretty good. And then like somebody's like, so why do you think they played well? I'm like, what? Like, how? I don't know. Like, fuck. Like, I feel like TL probably should have beat them. Like, I don't know. I literally just don't know. I thought C9 was gonna beat them. I literally predicted TL and C9 to both beat FlyQuest. Like, I just don't know why they win.
That's fair.
I really don't know.
I just needed to have this statement out there to show, hey, I got TL, FlyQuest making it out, and TSM fans losing in a heartbreak fashion, as they always do, against a Fnatic on a tiebreaker. So I don't know how that works. What it would be like a 6-0, 4-2, 4-2, or 3-3, 6-0, 3-3, 3-3. Yeah. So that's how I have this going. And then that this is the freest group. Sorry, Rogue fans. Sorry, Finn fans. Nothing there. And I think PSG should not be here. Like, you guys didn't make a big deal out of it, but I think like they should not be here because they used players that aren't on their team. Or they're not even on their roster. If it was like, hey, here's our academy guys, it was legit like, hey, why don't you go give me who didn't make it? Why don't we take
broke as fuck, man? Like, what do you think
Niski and whoever?
I mean, PCS is like the most underfunded region, man. Like, out of like the major ones. There's no money in PCS. That's why all the good players end up just going to China, or like even Chinese academy teams, or they coach in China. Like, there's no money in that region. Like, these guys, they don't have fucking academy teams of like capable players on lock, ready to go. It's definitely not like that over there.
I'm sure you make a great point, but I still don't feel like it felt great. It felt just very quick, right? It felt like a rule made out of convenience, so that the group stage doesn't fuck up, and not like, hey, this is a good rule. So, so those were our group stage breakdowns. All right, final predictions here for day number 1. What's our here? Okay, kicking off with FlyQuest and Top Esports. LS already had his prediction there. Unicorns of Love, DRX. Rogue against Talon. Our PSG, Neymar's team. The only way Brazil could make it through.
I'm saying F. Save?
I'm saying F again. Now
Saved?
save. Now F.
Okay. We're saved. Damwon
against JDG. That's probably...
Wait, that match is today?
Yeah.
Damwon versus JDG?
Oh, is it? Yeah. It's today. Tomorrow,
Holy
October
fuck.
3rd in 20 minutes, 19 minutes. Damwon JDG at 4 o'clock for us Pacific Coasters. Gen G against LGD, and then the big one of 2, TSM against Fnatic at 6 in the morning.
Holy shit, TSM versus Fnatic,
on day
my god.
1. Isn't that nuts? This is awesome.
What's your prediction looking like for that one, LS? TSM Fnatic?
I have Fnatic.
Yeah, he has Fnatic. TSM's not winning a game.
Oh, wait, you actually have them still not winning a game. Okay, I thought you... So I think TSM will actually win this game and then somehow still not make it out, because I feel like Fnatic normally starts pretty fucking slow in tournaments like this, and this is their first game. So I feel like Fnatic might run it down the first game. I mean, if TSM loses to Fnatic today, I'm just like, I'm done with TSM. Like, it's just like so doomed, because I don't see how they're gonna like. I feel like they will struggle more against Gen G and LGD than Fnatic will. I think Fnatic matches up better into LGD, so it's tough. It's tough. I'm gonna go TSM winning that one, and I'm gonna go JDG winning their match. I think all of our other picks will be probably the same, because they're like just mismatches for most of them. Maybe Rogue PSG is close. I think JDG is really. I think JDG is so underrated, man. Like people put them in that top 3 of like potentially winning worlds. You know, like people are like, oh, you know, like it's like Damwon, Domwon, and fucking
JDG.
Top, and JDG, but no one actually talks about JDG like they actually can win worlds. Like, this team barely lost the best of 5 in summer. They won in spring versus Top. Like, this team is actually really fucking good, and the meta suits them. Like it's like carry jungler meta. They got the best jungler in the tournament when he's playing. So I don't know, man. I like JDG up in my chances to win worlds. They're not just like top 3. I think that they're like have JDG in there.
I think no.
I can't check while I'm showing display, so I'm relying on you guys for the Fs.
Okay, so saved.
Saved one more time.
Holy shit!
This has been a
Discord
crazy.
gap.
Times. Yeah. All right, we're saved. I think the favorites for Worlds are Cloud9 and T1.
Okay, man. You just want everyone to hate you. You already saw Reddit. Reddit switched up on us quick. Like,
Yeah,
Dude, it's so fucking weird, man.
yeah, no, they really switched up. If you go and look at like how people talked about us a month and a half ago compared to how people talk about us now, it's crazy. Like I did a Worlds group breakdown that I spent like 8-9 hours on, and I put up the video. It was literally like 57% upvoted. Where at like the beginning of the year, every single episode of the Crackdown and a lot of episodes of Facecheck were hitting like front page high up. Like it's actually crazy. They switched up so quick as soon as we started trashing NA teams.
No, the other really weird thing is that a lot of people conflate just simply narrating or talking about something happening as if it's automatically always good. Like so if you're sitting there on the live viewing, or if I'm sitting there on the live viewing and I just constantly narrate something that's happening, that makes it good or makes it okay. When the reality is that like something that could be going on is actually fucking terrible. And if you point it out as such, people get mad, and that just confuses me.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's probably
Christ.
like it's like the same reason why people don't like streamers that could be like really accurate about what they're saying, but you know, like it comes off negative, or it sounds like they're being negative, sounds like complaining. You know, like people are just like, oh, well, it's not nice to listen to, and it's like, so you have to like play this game in your head where it's like, so do I say things that are gonna appease people, or or do I like say what I actually think?
Well,
you know?
yeah,
Right.
and that's something that for us to do on this show is say what the fuck you think, and like. You know, I've been getting DMs all the time like,
hey, you guys, I love the show, but you guys spent a long time shitting on NA and saying there's no NA talent.
and it's like, well, we just watched.
We were forced to watch no NA talent.
We were
like,
forced to watch quarterfinals and semifinals of NA, and then you know, like they're like,
yeah, but it's so negative and it just gets so tiring to hear. Like,
yeah, see, I don't understand what they want to hear. Like that, like
just want to hear
I
like
tried
more
to-
like they want to, because so what I think is like if you're not watching that much league, right, you're not watching all the regions, you probably don't like, you probably think that like LPL is like a little bit better, but you don't matter, they really are. So like you want to go into Worlds with more hope, and you want to like just think that NA teams are and like EU teams can win, because that's what you want to have happen. So like if you hear somebody just kind of like shitting on like what you want to happen, you're just like, well, fuck that, man. I don't want to hear that shit. I want to hear that like TSM like can make it out, and like this is how they win Worlds. Like this meta is good for them. Like they have a carry jungler in Spica. You know, he's young, but if he like pops off, has a really good day, he could take them far. Like
this is true. Hey, and what you said is true, that it could happen. But there's so much that could happen, and these two have watched so many other regions. Why would we spend time on something that has like a 10 to 15% chance to happen when we can explain why the 85% chance thing's gonna happen?
I don't know. Like I don't even think it's that. I think that's way too high. Like if you said that an NA team has a 10 to 15% chance of winning Worlds, I would think that you're fucking crazy. I don't even know if we have a 10 to 15% chance of making semis.
No.
Like 10 to 15 is pretty fucking high. Like that's a pretty high percentage. Like,
10. What the fuck are they smoking? Hold on, wait a minute. I would say I guess the best chance to get to quarters, right, would be Team Liquid.
Okay.
Or
I
at
was
least
gonna say
that's
TSM.
okay. LGD and best of one, maybe. So, well, I just think TSM's going 0-6, and I know that sounds really negative, and TSM Chris and all, but listen, I don't know. Yeah, it's really low. Even if they get to quarters, like who could they ever beat?
Okay. So it depends on like that's where it really comes in like a little bit random with the group draws and stuff like that, because you can get like first in your group. Let's say TSM looks sick, they look amazing, they get first in their group. What happens if you have to play like
Surprise, JDG.
yeah, JDG or Dom1? It's like, oh, that's the second seed in that other group. Oh, you rolled the wrong fucking cube or whatever they fucking pull it out of, and then you just see that it's JDG or Dom1. Then you're
Jizuke.
Yeah, I think it's fucking it's really 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 tough. I don't know. Like for me, when I see it, it's like, so I think there's a decent chance that one ANA team gets out of quarters, but I don't have any of the teams like actually getting out on my sheet, because I don't think any of them are favorites to get out. But it's like, so one thing that I've been trying to explain is like just how basic statistics work, right? Like, let's say I have every team getting out of the groups 30% of the time, right? Like if I have every team getting out 30% of the time, then there's actually like if you roll it 3 times, there's actually a decent chance that one gets out. Like it's not like impossible for one to get out. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that I think that more times than not, I would predict that every team in their group wouldn't. Like it's a percentage chancing. Like that's not how I'm not viewing groups. Like these 2 teams are like 100% and the other 2 teams are 0%. It's like all the teams have just percentages between 0 and 100 of getting out.
Yeah, and it's much more likely that based off of the gameplay that is being played and the historical facts of the regions, that NA doesn't get out, or as often.
The thing for me is that percentages are kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to dive into this topic. It's like it's not total random chance. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So that's where stuff gets really awkward.
Right. If you're doing cards, if you're playing cards, that chance will always be the same, right? It's not performance based.
Yes.
It's straight static probability. Whereas being performance based and emotionally based, and you got to play the game.
Right, because what would the the mathematician Matthews have said about LGD almost bombing out of plans?
Yeah, well, arithmetic.
You would have played them as a 90,
very unlikely.
5%. Yes, yeah. they would have probably said it's less than fucking 1% that what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it did.
What was that Gosu AI play-ins? What was that like Gosu AI play-in like breakdown or some shit? Like
this was really interesting. I had a talk with do you know who Tolkien is? He's the T1 analyst.
No. Yeah, I've heard of him. He's like is he like a white guy? Like a white guy?
He's from France.
Good guess.
Yeah, I think it's
yeah. I had a talk with him like 6 months ago or something, where he's like pretty confident that a deep learning bot could exceed 90% correct prediction rate.
Holy shit.
That seems really, I mean, I don't want to say that it's like wrong, because I know that I peaked at like 84% or something in LCK Spring. But I really wonder how insane bots can get, and if they can really fucking do something crazy.
Yeah,
that, like humans just can't,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
I mean,
I don't think I see, but
crazy.
I don't think they would be able to do that, because at the end of the day, they're trying to estimate what humans will do in a game. Like that to me feels like way too hard to calculate and get right most of the time, right? So.
Yeah, that's really hard. By the way, for Reddit Ronalds, I fell below 80% by the end of spring, but the sample size was like 250. I think it was like 79.221.
And that's like with a league that's like had like a top heavy and like there was like top teams and distinct bottom teams, where it would probably be easier to predict than like fucking group stages or some shit, I would think. So
Korea was really weird. Korea was basically top 3, and then 4th through 10th was basically the same.
It was like Africa beat everyone under them and then lost everyone above them, and then
that was summer.
Yeah, in summer. Yeah, in summer specifically is what I'm talking about. And then you had just like teams that were just fucking awful, like Hanwha Life and shit, where it's like you can just predict anyone to beat Hanwha Life and you're probably gonna get it right. You don't even need to watch the games.
All right. Last thing. any crazy picks, strats you think are coming out that aren't going to reveal, I guess, team strats, but any picks that we didn't see in plans or something that you think we saw in plans that will be played even more so? Dom, I know you've been watching a lot of solo queue, but that doesn't always translate into team picks.
I mean, I just feel like the teams. So I think that the Chinese teams are going to be able to pull out a lot of counter picks top that, like, besides for Broken Blade, I can't see Impact or Solo pulling out like a lot of counters top. And I feel like when Camille becomes really high priority, then Camille counters become high priority. So then you see like Jax, Fiora, like this stuff start popping up. And I don't really know if NA teams will be able to like adapt to that. So like my pick that I think could be seen is Fiora. Like people just really like this pick really shits on Camille. Like even if you take Grass Camille, you get to like 1 item, 2 items. It's really rough. So I can see that pick doing well.
LS.
And then Nico for G2. I think they're gonna play it and flex it.
I don't know what, like, if there's gonna be any super special picks. The thing I'm most looking for is, can we see bad bot lanes, or can we see bad blind bot lanes finally get punished like Twitch or Con? Or is Twitch gonna become ban priority? And then is the mid lane meta actually going to evolve, or are we all just going to go into a coma until preseason, and then the world is going to fucking collapse and Boris is going to win? So I feel like this is the end scene of the Matrix, and that's how it is.
Well, we are just an hour away from the group stage kicking off, and we got to see the early baby firework fiesta. That was the play-ins, and if it's anything like that, I expect a lot of kills, misplays, and just exciting gameplay. Like, this Worlds has been a good start so far, and go FlyQuest over top. Just kidding. Not that one. But I do think FlyQuest gets through. I think FlyQuest gets through.
Holy fuck. That would be so crazy.
FlyQuest gets through, Suning collapses. Anyone else? Any believers? I hate how this video is going to be posted after the games are played.
This is completely unrelated to LoL, but I just saw this image pop up on my timeline, and I feel like it totally encapsulates like NA fans.
All right, I'll show it real quick before we close it out. All right, Flygon, even though that's really weird and not me, Flygon commented, "This guy is mean. Don't say." This guy is mean. Don't say Pokemon is sucky just because it has stats that aren't as good. At least my stats are average.
Average? Holy shit.
Don't say a Pokemon's bad just because its stats are bad. Don't say NA's bad.
Also, all right.
Wait, there was actually one thing, man. Fuck. Holy shit. I want Digon to show this shit just because I was.
Go ahead. Shoot him over. We got a couple. We got a couple minutes left.
Give it to me, Flygon.
I think LS will appreciate this too. This is just a fucking. I'll link you the exact Reddit comment, but I feel like somebody just needs to see this, man. And I'll just show you guys because I have no goddamn friends.
Just in case you didn't know, I'm pretty sure Flygon is the name of the Pokemon, right? Is that? Anyone play Sun and Moon? Any Sun and Moon players in there?
Flygon's the name of the Pokemon, yeah.
Yeah, all right, cool.
So read this first comment, Digon, and then just click my link.
All right.
Oh, God. Hold on. Are we going to get... I got to be careful with this if we show it. Is it 24 hours?
Wait, what do you mean? 24
no,
hours?
No, it's not 20. No, they'll fuck. Did you show it? Please don't tell me you showed it. Okay, you didn't. No, they'll ban me off Reddit.
Wait, for what? For showing comments?
They've messaged me twice to not open anything related to any activity I'm doing on stream until 24 hours have passed.
Okay.
Hell? So crazy.
So because we're like in the middle of this, if we show this, I might violate the rule, and I just don't want to.
Well, so we just don't cut the people. I'm not gonna name the guy's name so they can't say it's target harassment. But somebody came at me, a TSM fan said.
How did you know he was TSM fan?
Just TSM icon, and then his tag was free EU, like EU is free, and then he had a TSM flare, and he told me that my content was like that, like the video that I put 9 hours into just like had no effort in it, which is just like he didn't obviously watch the video at all. He got 100 downvotes, And then I just went through his comment history, and I brought up a screenshot of him doing his analysis, and this is how you win Reddit fans over. You saw this? It's so good, right? It's so good.
Yeah, I was looking.
And then he's just saying, I hope they replace Broken Blade. That guy running it down versus Viper of all people. He needs to go ASAP. That's what TSM fans are. That's what these TSM fans are. They shit on everyone, including their own team, and then they go back into the fucking grass, just like Homer in that Simpsons meme, just straight back in. It's like, oh, he just disappeared. Fuck, I didn't see him. And like this is like, so the only way I could have won this guy over is if I just like went out with opinions like that were just bullshit and just like called for Broken Blade to be benched after he had like one bad game in playoffs. So it was
Dude,
it was a
guy is
banger.
so negative, man.
Speaking of negative, he had negative 20 points on that deep
And he had a
rooted analysis that he had.
Yeah.
I feel like there's two sides to Reddit users when you click their profile. There's the one side where they like live and breathe on Reddit and they have 80,000 comment karma, and you can just tell that they want to be a part of something that is bigger than them, right? And then you have the people that they have months or years on Reddit and they have extremely low comment karma. And you just know that they are just vile people. It's like there's the both extremes. And then there's the middle, which tend to be like the normal, you know?
I'm not.
I mean,
vile.
the thing that was so obvious here was that like he commented this like literally 10 minutes after my video got uploaded. So there's no way it's an hour and 5 minute long video where I go into like strengths and weaknesses and how I believe the teams are going to interact in every group. So there's no way he even could have watched it, right? Like I didn't do it on stream first and then like send it out later on VOD. Like this was literally at the beginning of the post. And then, like, when you see it, and obviously I'm not talking about all TSM fans. Like, people think that I just hate every TSM fan. No, like, this is the type of TSM fan that there's a lot of that, you know, I just dislike. And you can just tell based on everything that he does, like, this, like, he just wants to, like, destroy the fucking world. He wants to see the whole world burn. He's like, all right, if it could be his way, Broken Blade would have been kicked off TSM in the middle of quarters. He actually commented that in playoffs. Like, it wasn't even like when Broken Blade had the slump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't even when Broken Blade had the slump, like week 4, week 5, and there was time. Like he would have wanted Broken Blade kicked off in quarterfinals. It's like, all right, shit, they went 0-3 versus Golden Guardian. Kick Broken Blade off. Get a fucking sub top laner in here. That's how we're gonna win the championship.
Yeah. Look at CLG. They did that in their run, right? They weren't afraid to bench Pobelter for Tuesday and then put Pobelter back in the match that it worked. So people have done it before.
I love Reddit, man.
It's a banger though. Like that, Digon, tell me, like you got to actually see the interaction.
Yeah,
like
it was sick.
That's a banger right there.
It's sick, dude. Anytime people try
shit.
to shit on you and then you ratio them on Reddit, that is like, that's not like, hey, your friends are looking at this and liking it. It's like, no, the cesspool of public opinion also agree with you too. That always feels good.
I mean, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my god.
Did you
By the way,
find
unrelated news. Valorant is below 1% play rate in Korea.
it? Oh no.
Wow.
Yeah, here. I'll post it here. League of Legends is at an all-time high ever at 52.43% play rate in PC bongs.
Holy shit.
Let's swap it
That's
over.
fucking unholy. Holy shit. Long live the king.
Dude, playing.
Remember when
League is
Overwatch
so
was gonna?
weird.
What's number
remember when
2?
Overwatch
What is
was gonna
that?
Kill League?
What is 4?
FIFA Online 4.
What's number
FIFA
3?
Online 4. Battlegrounds, PUBG.
Okay.
PUBG's big, man.
And then Sudden Attack, which is Korea's
That's like Counter-Strike.
CSGO.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Overwatch is 5. Maple Story is 6. StarCraft 1 is 7. Dungeon Fighter, Lost Ark is 9, and then Warcraft 3 is 10.
I was like, FIFA
3 is still like, oh man, I just wish there was a Warcraft 4, man. That's my type of game.
I imagine it's in the works. I really do.
Dude, it's been 20 years, man. Like, what the fuck? I'm gonna be dead by the time that shit comes out. I was a child when it came out. Come on.
Yeah, I think Warcraft 4 will probably be the next RTS, but I imagine that Blizzard will go a different route. I think it won't be one-on-one. I think it'll be co-op. Because, like, that's just the future of games, it seems, is co-op. Because you always need to be able to blame a teammate. That's how teams get longevity. You know? Shit.
True.
True.
Damn. All
How else can you accept that you're shit? Like, that's like the only other reasonable thing you can do.
Fuck.
All right.
Yeah, so that's it.
That's it. The episode's over. Thank you everybody for watching, dealing with the Fs and saves back and forth. All of you Sag lurkers, take 10 seconds right now and follow me on Twitter. There's way too many of you that don't follow me on Twitter. I need that because I work too damn hard not to get your follow. So thank you.
True.
Yeah, follow Flygon.
Flygon.
Digon did this show for free for like a year plus. So
that's right. And then I got called what? And what? Yeah. All right.
Replaceable.
Yeah. That's right.
Yep.
All right.
Did you ever see that?
Time to cash in, baby.
Dude, I messaged Digon to see if everything was okay, and he called me drama chasing.
No.
Yes,
I
you
did.
did.
Did I really?
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Did I say don't
Replaceable.
go drama chasing?
Yeah.
No. Loco and I are fine, and that was to be honest, that was pretty funny. Surprising, but funny.
No, I mean, I can't imagine trying to like stay in character or like anything after that. Like what?
I'm a professional.
Awkward for me, man. I just wasn't here. I was just like, so about
shit.
League of Legends. Pretty fun game. Like, it was fucking weird.
What happened to Loco? What does he do?
Loco's streaming. He's streaming. I think he
TFT?
won the TFT
What?
Invitational recently. They had like an international team invitational, and it was him, Becca, Saint, and a couple other North American streamers, and they did well. Good for them.
Yep.
I'm
Respect.
glad that we had our show and we're able to push forward with Worlds. And so we appreciate all you guys. Thanks for dealing with LS's sleep schedule and Dom's being Dom.
Easiest one to schedule with here. I'm available all times of all day and all night every single day of the next like 2 weeks. And somehow it's still impossible to schedule. I am always available. Like I'm at my computer. Like
Yeah, I know.
Holy
It's
fuck, man,
fine.
it's crazy.
It's fine, Dom. Let's see. What did I say? Oh yeah, I did say you were drama chasing. That was sick. And then I said, "I'm kidding."
All right.
LS lost that part. dude.
LSC, yeah. I was like, did I really do that? I was like, yeah, I guess I did.
Yeah,
And I knew it was a joke.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you all for watching and supporting us throughout the last 2 years. I expect to get a bunch of bingo cards tomorrow. Please, Witty, what are things that we do and say every single time, subconsciously or consciously? Make them good, and I'll feature the next bingo card. We'll probably do an update when, guys, after group stage, the first round robin of group stage, after the whole group stage. Like, when do you think that we could try to do it?
I'd say in between
Wednesday.
break day. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Man, it's never the first day that we're able to get those. I'm literally free the 24 hours of that day, guys.
Wait,
I know we can schedule it.
I'm just telling you, that is the first day we're coming back for season 2 of Ven. So like, I can do the morning. I can do nighttime, your time, LS, morning of ours. So like after the games, I can do after the games.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys heard it here first. I just want everyone to hear how this shit
we're
works.
Planning. All right, so we're planning for Tuesday, right?
We're planning. No. Oh, fuck. What day is group stage over?
Tuesday.
Yeah, it's Tuesday is when
Or
it
Tuesday
ends.
night?
So
So-
we can either do it Wednesday morning or we could just do Tuesday right after the games.
I'm down to do Tuesday right after the games.
Okay, so Tuesday right after the games.
Do you
Okay.
you don't have
Are you
casting that
casting?
day?
No, I did not cast Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So
Everyone
Tuesday
heard
right
it,
after
right?
the
Everyone
games.
heard it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone heard it?
All right.
Tuesday right after the games.
Yeah. All right.
I
I'll
mean,
see you guys all.
you know, LS is gonna be missing more than his fucking
yeah.
razor these days. Like it's just fucking crazy. There's no chance he's gonna show up to that.
Oh
shit.
God, I'm sorry. I forgot. I had the secondary backup meeting with head of toilet. Oh, I couldn't make it.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys Friday.
All right.
Shut the fuck up, LS.
Tuesday. I thought you meant Wednesday at 2700.
Thursday, right? I'm mixing up my teams.
God. All right.
I'm gonna message you on stream that day.
Thank you everybody for watching.
Were we gonna do a game of group stage together? Were we gonna do a fucking day of group stage together? I know we talked about that a long time ago.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to do that. Yeah, we can do that still.
All right, we're doing it on fucking Tuesday, so I'll have my eyes on you the whole time. Like, we are doing this shit after, dude. Like,
There
All
it
right.
is.
Okay,
The
done.
super
All right.
stream already made. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We will catch you guys Tuesday.
Nice.
And hopefully that works for all of you European viewers that are salty about this episode being so late. Sorry about it. All right, everyone. We'll catch you next time. See ya.
Peace.